this room, to consecrate it and make it holy in the eyes of the people's democracy. And I do it with plain water, and water is an element that is free and given to us by God. Water is a precious commodity, and it's given to us freely by God. And we have many rivers, and God has blessed Guam with a wonderful, huge aquifer. And for a very long time in my own journey, my father has also worked for the Department of Guam PUAG first, and then with Guam Waterworks. And he retired after 19, 20 years of service to the government of Guam. And it is through him, that's the reason why I'm running as a Republican this time, and probably will remain as a Republican so long as the GOP in the states are looking for candidates perhaps to run against Hillary Clinton. And that was the whole sensationalism about running for President of the United States. But first you have to win the party's nomination on the national level in order to proceed forward, okay? So the idea here was that when I was second grade at JQ San Miguel, my teacher, Miss Terry Mantanonia, asked me, "What would you like to do when you grow up?" At second grade, I said to myself, to her, and out loud, "I'm going to run for the President of the United States of America." Of course, she was laughing out loud. "How is that possible, Jonathan? You're from a little tiny island in Guam." I said, "Yeah, but I was born in the States." She goes, "Ah." Yes, she must be born in any of the 50 states in order to run for the President of the United States of America. And I think that conversation that any American child can actually dream to run, one day to run as the President of the United States of America. And that's the wonderful thing about our democracy. Our democracy in which we are given freedoms and rights that people have fought for in this country to protect. And I want to animate this conversation a little bit by talking a little bit to you way back in specifically November 19, 1863. 407 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men, and I'll also put this, comma, and all women are created equal. Now we are engaged in a great civil war, testing whether that nation or any nation so conceived and so dedicated can long endure. We are met on a great battlefield of that war. We have come to dedicate a portion of that field as a final resting place for those who here gave their lives that that nation might live. It is altogether fitting and proper that we should do this. But in the larger sense, we cannot dedicate, we cannot consecrate, we cannot hallow this ground. The brave men, living and dead, who struggled here, have consecrated far above our poor power to add or detract. The world will little note, nor long remember what we say here, but it can never forget what they did here. It is for us, the living, rather, to be dedicated here to the unfinished work which they who fought here have thus far so nobly advanced. It is rather for us to be here dedicated to the great task remaining before us, that from these honored dead, we take increased devotion to that cause for which they gave the last full measure of devotion, that we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, that this nation under God shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth. Abraham Lincoln, President of the United States of America. So, powerful words. Do they have any meaning today on this tiny island we love so much called Guam?